For the first time users of Sinutrain, you'll come up with no machines there. So you now need to create a machine. Now, you don't have to create anything from scratch. You'll use a template. So in this grey box here, when it says create new machine, use template for that, and it automatically defaults to demo lathe. So we'll leave that alone because that's the one we want to use. So under training license for schools, it's for free. You don't get all the bits and bobs that goes with it, but it's good enough for us what we want to use. Now the resolution, that's how big the playing screen, if you want to call it playing screen, becomes on your monitor. For my particular monitor, I have to use 1280 by 1024. When I select that, I'll check that the lathe is what I'm using, the demo lathe, and the selection of the resolutions I'm happy with. Once you select those, you hit create. Where it comes up with a demo lathe machine, you hit the play button that you see here. So it says start this machine. Once that fires up, it takes a little bit longer to start these up. So this is real time, as you see, and you will need to use your keyboard for the letters, numbers, and the cursor keys on there. So there we are, that's our playing screen. So everything you see in this box here is your playing screen. So if you've got a 840D, you'll then, and if you're lucky enough to have a touchscreen monitor, you can just touch the keys as you see it. If you haven't got a touchscreen monitor like the majority of us, you have to click on the bits and pieces. So if I want to get the tools up, TSM is for tools, speed, and M codes. If I click on that, it comes up with this. As you see, when clicking the TSM, we come up with this screen here, and we have select tool, select work offsets, and something like that. Okay, so I want to go back. We haven't got anything there. So what our main thing is that you need to set up some tools first, and these are the following tools that you need to set up for our jobs that we're doing at college. Okay, so click TSM, and you know where it says select tool up here, just click that once and you come up with a list of tools. We're not interested in this screen. What we're after is the tool list. So when you click on the tool list in the top right hand corner of the play screen, there we are, and we'll end up with these. Now what I can tell you, we need to make sure we've got a roughing tool, a finishing tool, a parting tool. They call it a plunge cutter, but you can name it anything you like. Call it Bob if you want. And then we want a spot drill, a 5.7 drill, and a 6mm reamer. Okay, now none of those tools apart from them, well, there are some of those tools up there, but they're all over the place. So I'm going to show you how to create your tools on here. So it's quite simple. Now tool number 1 we're going to leave as is, and we're going to delete tool number 2. That's all it does. Okay, that. Watch it again. Select number 3. We're going to go delete. And are you sure? We'll say yes. So you're doing all these. Tool number 4, and it comes up there. Oops, lazy. So if you come up with this, you hit this back button there. So see this button here, you end up with 2 menus. We want it where you can see delete tool. Delete tool. Do you want to delete it? Just OK it. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way, where I'll just unload. And what it does, it puts it from that pocket or location into the bottom. Tool number 6, do the same again. The choice is yours, unload or delete. Tool number 7, delete. Oh, I just moved it. Tool number 8, unload. Tool number 9, unload. Tool number 10, unload. Okay, beautiful stuff. That's the last tool we deleted. So tool number 2, we want to use a finishing tool. So we want the roughing. We don't care what it looks like as we're machining, as long as it leaves enough material to be machined off to leave a beautiful finish. So at this point, as long as number 2's location is highlighted, click new tool, and we now need to make sure we've got turning tools. Okay, so if you're not sure, right, it's a finishing tools for turning. If you're not sure, just make sure you've got turning, you've got drills, cutters. We want turn tools, and we want a finishing tool that you've got there. You must choose, for our particular machine, the left of the 4 icons for all there. You just click on that, OK that, and it loads into there. Okay, now if I hit enter, That tool then loads correctly. All we need to worry about is use the right arrow key or use the mouse to click in the box that you want to change. The radius of the tip is 0.8. Okay, use the right arrow key or hit enter, and then we want to make sure, so this represents the tap. When that tool is called, we're going to use it. We're going to use coolant on there. That's that tool done. Tool number 3 that I'm going to use there is new tool, and that's going to be another turning tool, and that's going to be a plunge cutter. Again, the left hand tool icon needs to be selected there. Okay, that. Now I'm not going to leave this as plunge cutter because I want it to parting tool. Okay, hit enter, and as we scroll across, we're going to put some tip radius on it. If you're not sure, look what's already there. Okay, so we've got 0.1 and 0.2. I think we've got 0.2s on ours. 0.2 there, hit enter. And the plate width, this is basically the width of the parting blade. Our machine at the college has a 4mm tip. Okay, and then hit enter again. We don't need an angle there, but what we do need is the length of the tip. Now again, if you're not sure, if you look down here, they've got 4s and 8s. I think ours is a 5, so just click 5 in there, and then again hit enter again. And when we get to number 1, tap, make sure there's a tick in it, and away we go. Tool number 7 is where we're going to use, so this sort of replicates the positions of the tools what we have at the college. New tool, this is going to be a drill, and I want a center drill. Okay, now look at the position, it needs to be this one here. Make sure that it's pointing to the left. Okay, that. Now I'm going to call this not center drill, I'm going to call this 12mm spot drill. Easy as that. Hit enter. Okay, it knows there's a spot drill. It puts the angle of it at 90 degrees. I don't need to do anything else. What I'm going to do now is hit the tick to make sure we're using a tap for that one there. Tool number 8 again. Now what's happened here is now the menu's changed here. So if you click this button at the bottom, it changes back to this. So that one there. So you should see this. There's another menu. Okay, new tool, this time it's going to be a drill, so a twist drill. Make sure that's selected and the left hand icon's chosen because we're feeding from the right to the left. Click that. So I'm going to delete that, and we're using a 5.7mm drill. Okay, hit enter. You notice it puts the angle of the drill. We're going to leave these dimensions blank and click the tick to make sure we are using the coolant on there. Next one, tool number 9. Again, it's a new tool. It's a drill, but we want a reamer. Again, select the left hand icon out of the 4 that we have. Okay, that. And delete, just use the arrow key to get to the beginning. And this is going to be a 6mm reamer. Okay, and we're going to go through on there, make sure the tap is on. Now, I've left these all at 0. Okay, so we're interested in the length and the length of the X, length of the Z. Now, because these are on the center, we can leave them as they are. What it does need is the diameter of the tool. So the 12mm is going to be 12mm there. Enter. Move to the next one. The 5.7 is going to be 5.7 drill. And the next one there, underneath there, is going to be 6mm. Hit enter. Okay. All got the taps on. So all we need is the roughing tool, the finishing tool, the parting tool. That machine's the outside. And because there's a hole in the middle, I have to spot drill it. I also need to drill the hole and bang a reamer up there to produce the hole to the sides that we're after. We're after H8. The reamer's good, fantastic. Please don't use a hand reamer in there because the first, to say 8 to 10mm, is undersized and really should be ground off. Or ideally, you really want to be using a machine reamer where it's parallel from the front all the way to the back. Right, ladies and gents, that's how you set your tools up on your Sinutrain. And there we have it. Up to the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.